Would Putin go nuclear? Okay, that's been a question for many leaders around the world. America's taking it seriously. He's also talking about semi-mobilization. In other words, using reserve forces of Russia to fight in Ukraine. It's said to be that lots of Russians are concerned about this. There certainly seems to have been protests in the streets because all of a sudden the war becomes very real when you could be potentially involved. Let's explain. So first of all, Putin has said, and here's his words, all weapon systems will be available to us if Russia is attacked. Okay, then, if you think what he's saying is that he's holding a vote in territories which he's taken from Ukraine. Of course, many people in the West will say that they are not valid votes. He says he'll protect them. In other words, in my opinion, he's drawing a line and saying, right, we want to keep this particular part that we've taken, even if it's against people's will, and if people attack us, all weapon systems are available to us. Of course, there's been many threats in the past. Is it a serious nuclear threat? America say that yes, they think that it is serious and they have to take it seriously and make sure they're ready to defend themselves. Okay, should that throw us into a world of worry? Reality is, it's been said before, and of course, many people believe that Putin, he can't just touch a button. He's got to go via fire, and the reality is that he's got to tell somebody to push a button who's going to push the button, and it's not just down to him. In other words, it's unlikely to happen. Let's look at mobilization. Let's see why it's going to occur. Again, let's look at Putin's words. What did he say? He didn't say, I want to mobilize the country to go and fight. Okay, what he actually said is, I'm going to back my defense secretary who says that we need extra troops. In other words, he's not taking the blame for it himself. He can back out of it later. He said he's backing other people's decision rather than being his decision. Should people concerned about it in Russia? Well, he's saying 300,000, many believe that it's going to be 1 million. Okay, what's it really about? Well, the war is now coming up for 8 months. Normally when you go to war, you get fatigue. You get fatigue after around 4 months. So in other words, they've lost soldiers, they've lost a number of personnel, and highly trained personnel at that. Now, what they need to do is some form of rotation if they're going to defend. Of course, however, you're now sending reservists that are not trained enough to go and fight with Ukraine. Okay, well, is that sensible? Is that going to cause more issues? Okay, Putin's not crazy. Okay, or perhaps he is, right? Some would say he is. I don't think he is, so I'm going to say that he knows, right, the situation. He does need more troops to back and defend what he's already taken. It's easier to defend if you stay still. In other words, if you're actually entrenched and you're not trying to take ground, it's actually easier. You need less forces to stay in a situation where you're defending than if you're trying to take ground. I think he's trying to defend. So whilst everybody said it's alarmist, okay, actually I think he's trying to defend. He's trying to draw a line on it. Of course, the West doesn't like that because he's trying to draw a line after taking territory. Zelensky says we're going to take our territory back. So certainly it's not going to be something that's going to be over with quickly. Okay, what does it mean? However, it means reservists being called up. Okay, right now the stories are that it's people that are going to be around the age of 40 that are actually being called in. Doesn't seem to be young people from the reports. Of course, it's just reports, and again, you're looking at social media, may not be accurate. Okay, we see a situation whereby Putin last week and earlier this week met with China and he met with India. Okay, it certainly appeared that he'd lost some face, in other words, some standing. So we're in a situation, again, where Putin wants to make a stand and he actually wants to show that he's done the right thing. Of course, he's on a fine line. He's in a fine line in his own country. And of course, in the world, we're seeing a situation where people don't like the war, don't like the reports of everything that has been happening. Okay, and action is gradually more and more being taken against Russia. Whereas people believed, or Russia seemed to believe, Putin seemed to believe, that the West would lose interest and actually fade away. Wouldn't be surprising to see that he switched to more of a cyber war. Okay, many believe, certainly in the investment industry, that cyber security and cybersecurity companies will be a good investment because Putin will switch to that direction. Okay, what's going to happen? I'll keep you up to date. Okay, that's what's happening right now from all the information that we're getting as an organization. Hit like, please share the video. Okay, from an investment point of view, cybersecurity is what I believe is going to be the next issue or the next market for people investing. From a war point of view, unfortunately, as we go into the winter, I expect it to continue. Okay, and of course, that's not good news. From a nuclear point of view, I actually don't think that it will occur. And I really feel that, yes, we need to obviously make sure that we're looking to do everything we can to protect ourselves. But the reality is, if it was going to happen, it probably would have happened already. That's my opinion. Okay, please like and share the video. I try and give you as much as I can impartial views on what's happening and try and take the facts, decipher them, make it simple so you can understand and get a fast update on what's happening in the world of investment and indeed in what it takes to be successful in life.